Hey class, so we're at the final part of this project, rendering. So right now when we play our project, let's just take a look at what we have. So now we want to take our After Effects file and turn it into something that is readable by other applications, either like Chrome or YouTube or our media player, QuickTime media player. All of those will not read our After Effects file, so we need to render to create a final processed video that can be shared. All right, so the way that I like to do that is to go to File and Export. And personally, I like to use the Adobe Media Encoder Q. Adobe Media Encoder Q is an actual separate application called Adobe Media Encoder and will allow us some nice options. It's a good, solid media encoder for rendering. You can also render inside After Effects using Add to Render Q. However, I find personally Media Encoder a little more robust and actually quite easy to use. So let's click on that. That will open up Adobe Media Encoder in your computer. If you don't have Adobe Media Encoder installed, although I do believe it installs automatically with After Effects, you can go to All Apps on your Creative Cloud system here and open it up and install it here. All right, so the first thing you're going to see when you're opening up Media Encoder is a media browser on the left. So if you want to, say, change the file type, so from MOV to MP4, you can browse for an original file here and then encode it on this side. 99% of the time, the only thing we're using for this media encoder is this Q window on the right here. The most important part of it is to this little play button and then the actual composition and the settings here. So I'm just going to go to my main comp. That's the composition that I created. And let's just work on these settings here. So you can see an overview that it's going to encode using a file system called H.264, match source, high bit rate, and then this is where it's going to be encoded to, or where that file is going to be sent. So let's click on one of these settings, and it's going to open up this dynamic link, and this will say all of our output settings. So on the right here, you can see format should be H.264. This is a great all-around setting for 99% of our videos. You may also at times want to export to an animated GIF, or maybe even QuickTime, but in general you're going to be using the H.264 codec. It compresses your files so you're not going to end up with some huge video file. All right, preset. I generally use this match source high bit rate. That just means whatever the source and settings were when we brought the file in, it's going to be exported that way too. You can also, if you have a really huge file, you can also reduce this here, but in general, match source high bit rate. You can also see if you want to export to other settings, like maybe YouTube's full, 4K Ultra HD. You can try exporting to that. Vimeo's here, Twitter's here with their settings. So there's a lot of different options, Facebook. But in general, this is the one that I go with. All right, output name. This is really important. So it's going to save as the main comp week 1. If you click on this output name, it's going to show you where it is exporting to. So for my case, it's going to go to my lesson 1, and then AME. Cat Demo AME stands for Adobe Media Encoder. All right, so now I know where it's going to be saved. You can save that to your desktop if you like. And now we're going to export video and audio as well. That's really important. All right, you can scroll down here to see your settings. A few things, if you want to cut off the beginning, you can also set a start time code. So maybe you only want the last 3 seconds of your video to show. You can change that. Audio, you can change your audio format here if you'd like. And I think that's it for what I generally change. You can also change your range down here. You can see this is 12 seconds and 9 frames. And then I'll just hit OK when I'm happy. Now, notice that nothing happens. This is just still sitting here not doing anything. What you must do is hit the Start Queue button. The reason for this is because people will frequently want to render many files out at the same time while they, like, say, go to lunch or what have you, or go on a break. So you can actually create a list of many different files that you're working on to render all at once. And all you have to do is hit play when you want them to start. So we're just going to render out this one file. So now I'm going to hit start. And you'll see that it's rendering underneath here. And when it's done, which shouldn't be more than a few seconds, we can actually click on, here we go, this output file. And it will take us right to where that file is located. Please double check and play your video so that you make sure that it looks exactly with the way that you want it to look before you turn it in or publish it to the web. Sometimes issues happen or something doesn't look exactly the way you'd like it to. So now is the time that you can open this up, check it, and then you can always go back into After Effects and re-render again. All right, hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and please upload your file to Canvas so we can see what you've done. All right, thanks, class.